Yeah, my wonderful people, viewers and subscribers all over the world. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Happy Sunday to you all. This news is coming from our sister network television station by name Biafra'S News Network, where we always get some Obonga news, because our duty in this media of Etino is to make sure that every news that concerning the Biafran people, the Biafran movement, and the declaration of the independent state of Biafra, we are going to help it, to share it, and also play it at other other stations, so channel, or whether radio house or media house, everything is going to be playing, so that everyone going to be aware of what is happening and where we are heading to. Anyway, Biafra issues an ultimatum to Nigerian government to say, may they release anything that got to do with Biafrans that have been caged in a far away north, in prison, or they call them correctional center or incarceration center. We don't care the name they used on it, but I want you to listen, and listen very attentively. After you finish hearing from the Biafra'S News, then here comes another analyst by name Amandia Neze, reporting from the platform of Okute Daily Talk. So everybody gather here, let us move straight to the reason why we are here. As you are watching, make sure you are commenting, make sure you are liking, make sure you are subscribing. Most importantly, let this video go viral, because the so-called Nigerian government need to hear it, so that they will stick to the main the main subject of the day of freeing Mazi Nnamdi Kanu from their captivity. If you don't mind, Oya, lend me your listening ears.
Good evening, I am Rosemary Okenwa, and this is Biafra'S News. Your trusted...
In case you don't hear the name well, because of the intonation or the way she pronounces it, Rosemary Okenwa is the broadcaster of this news.
Source for in-depth reporting on the ongoing liberation of Biafra and the bold leadership of the Biafra Republic government in exile, BRGIE, under Prime Minister Simon Ekpa. Exclusive updates on Biafra's military successes, global diplomatic efforts, and the latest political developments as we edge closer to the official declaration of an independent Biafra. We begin with major developments from the Bakassi Peninsula, where the Biafran naval force, known as the Dragon Fighters Marine, has achieved a significant victory. On October 22, 2024, the defense headquarters of the Biafra Liberation Army announced that 6 soldiers of the Cameroonian BIR terrorist battalion were neutralized during a fierce gunfight. The Cameroonian forces, attempting a strategic incursion into Biafran waters, were forced to flee, leaving behind their gunboats. This comes just days after another operation on October 20th, 2024, where the Biafran forces successfully neutralized 3 additional Cameroonian soldiers in a face-to-face confrontation at Idabato in the Atabong area of the Bakassi Peninsula. To fully understand the significance of these military victories, we must revisit the history of the Bakassi Peninsula. This region, rich in oil and gas reserves, has been at the heart of a long-standing territorial dispute between Nigeria and Cameroon. The International Court of Justice, ICJ, ruled in favor of Cameroon in 2002, handing over the Bakassi Peninsula to Cameroon, much to the dismay of Biafra'S who inhabit the area. Since the ruling, the Cameroonian BIR, often referred to as a terrorist force by Biafran leaders, has been accused of violently suppressing the local Biafran population, leading to heightened tensions and ongoing confrontations. The recent victories by the Biafran naval force mark a critical turning point as Biafran fighters continue to push back against foreign occupation of their land. Prime Minister Simon Ekpa commended the bravery of the Dragon Fighters, stating, "Our forces are protecting the sovereignty of Biafra land, and we will continue to defend our people from all external threats."
As you are watching, please continue sharing this video. Hey, you never see anything. This one is just the tip of the iceberg. We are winning the fight against the zoo and also against the Cameroonian forces, because the forces with the Biafrans are fighting with it are not ordinary, they are not few, they are many. We are fighting with Nigeria. We are fighting with Cameroon. We are fighting with the UK. We are fighting with other Western world who have interest in the gas and oil reserves, or oil deposits rather, in the Biafran territories.
The significance of these victories cannot be overstated, as they demonstrate Biafra's growing military capability in its fight for independence. Stay connected. We'll be back after this break.
Biafra Republic government in exile issues 72-hour ultimatum to Nigeria, announces immediate closure of key judicial institutions. In a high-stakes emergency cabinet meeting today, the Biafra Republic government in exile, under the leadership of Prime Minister Simon Ekpa, passed a resolution demanding that the Nigerian government return all Biafrans currently detained outside Biafra land within 72 hours. This ultimatum, issued on October 24, 2024, expires on Sunday, October 27, 2024. In a strong statement issued after the meeting, the Biafran government declared, "Failure to comply with this demand will lead to the eviction of non-Biafran judges and the indefinite shutdown of key judicial institutions in Biafra land. The institutions facing closure include Federal Court of Appeal in Owerri, Federal Court of Appeal in Awka, Federal Court of Appeal in Enugu, all federal high courts in Biafra land, National Industrial Courts in Biafra land." The Biafran government cited these courts as instruments of oppression, stating that they have fostered anarchy, death, insecurity, and instability, rather than delivering justice, equity, and fairness to the Biafran people. The resolution specifically criticized the role of the courts in the installation of Hope Uzodinma as governor, whose regime, according to the Biafran government, has inflicted severe hardship on women and children across the region. Addressing the nation, the Biafran leadership further warned, "These institutions will be locked down indefinitely from October 29, 2024. Non-Biafran judges must return to their regions, as their security will no longer be guaranteed in Biafra land."
My fellow cabinet members of the Biafra government, honorable ministers, head of department, I welcome all of you today. Without wasting your time, I would like to let every one of us here to know that the impunity of the Nigerian state is coming to an end by various decisions and various steps and measures that this government will take in order to protect, defend our land, protect our women and children and our properties and lives. For this reason, Nigeria have represented anarchy, criminality, evil, corruption, especially in Biafra land and against Biafra people. We have seen and witnessed several and thousands disappearances of Biafra people, where they are kidnapped from Biafra land and taken to far away northern Nigeria, another part of Nigeria, and locked up, imprisoned, without trial, without any justification. And for that reason, the Biafra government will be taking a very decisive steps and decision today in order to bring that impunity to an end. On this note, I am moving a motion this afternoon without wasting your time, a motion to give 72 hours to the Nigerian terrorist state to return every single Biafran that has been kidnapped from Biafra land and taken to somewhere in the northern Nigeria and the southern, on the western Nigeria and beyond, for them to be returned back to Biafra land with immediate effect. In addition to this, failing to bring back any Biafran and all Biafran that have been kidnapped in the name of arrest or with whatever nomenclature, after 72 hours, we will evict every judges that is not from Biafra land, residing in Biafra land. We will also lock down the entire court that represent Nigeria. We are going to lock down the Court of Appeal in Owerri Judicial Court. We will lock down the Court of Appeal, Awka Judicial Court. We are also going to lock down the Court of Appeal, Enugu Judicial Division. We will lock down the Federal High Court in the entire Southeast to start with. After that, we will proceed to the South-South. We will also lock down the entire National Industrial Court in the entire Southeast and South-South comprising of Biafra. After this, we will move to customary court. So anybody that is in this court and you are not a Biafran, you are serving, you are sent or posted to Biafra land to come to Biafra and preside over any case. Believe me, after the time that we are going to be voted for today, after that time elapses, your security will not be guaranteed. Our demand is very simple. From Mazi Nnamdi Kanu down to the lowest person must be transferred to Biafra land with immediate effect. We will begin to correct this impunity on the issue that when somebody is alleged to commit a crime, there is a jurisdiction. If you claim that somebody committed a crime in the Southeast, as you have given them, the person must be tried in that jurisdiction in the Southeast. Somebody cannot be abducted from the Southeast, sent to northern Nigeria, where you will be denied access to justice, you will be denied access to lawyers, you will be denied access to everything. You lock the person up where the so-called crime were committed in a different region. That is ending today. The Biafra government will be voting on this particular issue I have mentioned. So, my fellow cabinet members, as a government, it is a priority for us to protect the interests of our people, to give them justice, fairness, equity, which Nigeria government have denied them. On this note, I move a motion to give 72 hours to every judges of the Court of Appeal in Owerri, every judges of the Court of Appeal in Awka, every judges of the Court of Appeal in Enugu Judicial Division, every judges of the Federal High Court in the Southeast and South-South, every judges of the National Industrial Court in the entire Southern region.
Part of a broader struggle that dates back to the Biafra-Nigeria Civil War of 1967 to 1970. A conflict that resulted in the loss of over 3 million Biafrans, most of them women and children, due to starvation caused by a blockade imposed by the Nigerian government. The war ended with Nigeria's victory, but the quest for Biafran independence persisted. In recent years, the independence movement has gained new momentum under Prime Minister Simon Ekpa, who has consistently advocated for Biafra's right to self-determination. Today's announcement marks a critical escalation in the standoff between Biafra and Nigeria, signaling the Biafran government's refusal to tolerate what it views as a continued assault on its people's rights. The world now waits to see how the Nigerian government will respond to this 72-hour ultimatum.
Our top story tonight is the remarkable diplomatic success of the Biafra Republic government in exile, under the leadership of Prime Minister Simon Ekpa. On October 20th, 2024, Prime Minister Ekpa announced that the BRGIE had entered formal talks with US Congress members about the recognition of Biafra's independence. This is a landmark moment in the Biafran struggle for sovereignty, as the US government had previously been hesitant to engage with Biafra's call for independence. Prime Minister Ekpa, through his official X handle, noted that many American policymakers had not been previously briefed on the situation in Biafra. However, after intensive lobbying efforts, several key members of the US Congress have now shown support for the movement, Ekpa proudly stated. For most members of Congress, this was the first time they had heard the Biafran story. The response has been overwhelmingly positive, and this is just the beginning of our international efforts. The discussions come on the heels of Biafra's self-referendum, where over 49 million Biafrans voted overwhelmingly in favor of independence from Nigeria. This public mandate is now being leveraged to gain international recognition. To grasp the importance of these developments, it's crucial to understand the international history of self-determination movements. The Biafran struggle is part of a broader global trend where marginalized and oppressed groups have sought international recognition and the right to self-govern. Biafra's first attempt at independence in 1967, led by General Odumegwu Ojukwu, resulted in a brutal civil war against Biafra, often referred to as the Nigerian Biafran War or the Biafran War. The war, which lasted from 1967 to 1970, saw widespread famine, with millions of Biafrans starving to death as Nigeria blockaded the region. Despite the Biafran Republic's formal declaration of independence in 1967, the international community largely remained silent, and Nigeria, with the backing of the United Kingdom and the Soviet Union, killed over 2 million Biafrans, mostly women and children. Now, under Prime Minister Simon Ekpa's leadership, the push for international recognition has been revitalized. Prime Minister Ekpa's government is committed to securing global support, ensuring that the Biafran cause is no longer ignored on the world stage. Stay tuned. The most significant moment in Biafra's history since 1967, Prime Minister Simon Ekpa has confirmed that the Biafra Republic government in exile will unveil the official 40-state map of Biafra on December 2nd, 2024. This presentation will serve as the formal redeclaration of an independent Biafra Republic. Prime Minister Ekpa, speaking at an international forum, described the upcoming declaration as the culmination of decades of struggle and sacrifice by Biafran patriots. He stated, "Biafra's independence is no longer a dream. It is a reality that we will manifest with the backing of our people and the international community. December 2nd, 2024 will be a day that will go down in history as the rebirth of the Biafran nation." This declaration is expected to draw significant attention from world leaders, human rights organizations, and international bodies like the United Nations. The decision to declare independence in 2024 is deeply symbolic, especially given the historic failure of Biafra's first declaration in 1967. The first Biafran Republic declaration, born out of political and ethnic tensions in Nigeria, was never internationally recognized, and the resulting civil war led to the deaths of over 2 million Biafrans. Now, more than 50 years later, Prime Minister Simon Ekpa's government seeks to rectify that historical injustice. Armed with the support of over 50 million Biafrans, a strong defense force, and growing international recognition, the Biafra Republic government, in exile BRGIE, is positioning Biafra to succeed where it once failed. This is more than a political declaration. It is the restoration of a people's right to self-determination, dignity, and freedom. We'll be back after this break. Hard-hitting statement, Prime Minister Simon Ekpa has lashed out at former Nigerian President Olusegun Obasanjo, accusing him of failing not only Nigeria, but the entire African continent. Prime Minister Ekpa's comments come after Obasanjo publicly expressed his disappointment in Nigeria's lack of unity, which he said had prevented the country from achieving its full potential as a leader of the black race. Speaking on October 19, 2024, Prime Minister Ekpa criticised Obasanjo for his role in perpetuating the marginalisation of Biafrans during his time in power. He accused the former president of overseeing a corrupt regime that enriched the Nigerian elite while ignoring the suffering of millions of Biafrans and other minority groups. Prime Minister Ekpa stated, "Obasanjo speaks about Nigeria's failure as if he wasn't one of the architects of that failure. He had the opportunity to lead and bring unity to Nigeria, but instead he presided over a regime that continued the oppression of Biafrans and the looting of Nigeria's wealth by a corrupt elite." Prime Minister Ekpa's condemnation of Obasanjo reflects a broader frustration within the Biafran movement toward Nigerian leaders, who they see as complicit in the ongoing injustice and exploitation of their people. Nigeria's history of political instability, corruption, and ethnic division has been a major obstacle to its development since gaining independence from Britain in 1960. The country, often referred to as the Giant of Africa due to its large population and vast natural resources, has consistently failed to live up to its potential as a leader on the African continent. The Nigerian Biafran War, ethnic tensions, and a series of military dictatorships have stifled the country's progress. Leaders like Olusegun Obasanjo, who served as both a military and civilian president, are seen by many Biafrans as part of the system that has perpetuated inequality and hindered true unity in Nigeria. Ekpa's criticism of Obasanjo underscores the deep dissatisfaction among Biafrans with Nigeria's leadership and strengthens the argument for Biafra's independence as the only viable solution for lasting peace and progress in the region. As we move toward December 2nd, 2024, the day Biafra will formally redeclare its independence, the path forward remains challenging but full of promise.
Welcome to Biafra.
So that is the end of the news, my wonderful people. Here are the few comments that we have before you here. Biafra is our hope, pride and future. All must hail Biafra. According to international one, he said, "Na waiting be his name." Non-so beauty empire said, "My PM, God bless you, sir." One Austin said, "Biafra, here we come. All must hail Biafra." At Ogechi Cyril Gabriel said, "Thank you, PM. I believe everything you do because I believe you are led by the Holy Spirit of the Almighty God." Godwin Chijoke, this is the best channel ever to watch. At Noah Nemo said, "Biafra we stand." Amechi Chitochi, talking on say, our God is good. Anyway, my people, now you go take a break. Please like, share, comment, and make sure you subscribe to my channel for more interesting videos coming your way. My name is Amandia Neze. Kemesiano.